Good morning. Good Saturday morning. A little cloudy outside. A little rain on the way. Somebody said the snow word, the S word.
Yeah, it's
the four-letter S word, and it was
created
snow.
a ripple across the Piedmont.
Yeah. I don't think we'll. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Temperature's going to drop.
Yeah,
quite a bit. But one thing about it in this area, it can be 70 one day.
And 40,
and
35 the
next day.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that's
then
how mercurial.
be 70 the day after.
Hey, like that one, Butch, if you're listening, mercurial weather. How's that?
But today, I think later in the day, we're getting rain, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
60% chance and 100 tomorrow.
Oh, just 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's time for it again. Where'd we go, about 4 days there in a row? Maybe, without 3 or 4 days in a row?
I've had one of the worst sinus attacks this week that I've ever had.
Is it because it's like spring out? Are things starting to bud? Is it?
I think they are.
Because it's been so warm?
Yeah.
What was it yesterday, 70? If it wasn't, it was real close to 70 yesterday.
And have you noticed how saturated the ground is everywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
But it shouldn't be that way with the warm, sunny days.
I know. Well, it can't dry out, right? I mean, it's just.
Doesn't have a chance.
Doesn't have a chance.
Got a hawk lives in my backyard. He's out there. I don't know if the saturated ground has anything to do with what he's doing or not, but he's out there this morning. He's like, I don't know if I like this or not, but he's like about 25, 30 feet from the house looking for breakfast,
What do you think he's looking for? Varmints?
Yeah.
Critters?
Yeah. I mean, I think a squirrel, I don't know how many squirrels they eat, but those chipmunks, I think they're in danger.
They love the chipmunks.
And I got chipmunks. I think they're in danger every time.
I used to have them.
Yeah. Well, maybe you don't anymore. Maybe because you have a hawk you don't know about.
They're a pest.
Yeah. Are they?
They burrow down.
Tear it up?
They can tear up your grass.
Yeah. Yep. You mean you didn't want Alvin, Simon, and Theodore?
Yeah, I didn't want the
around?
I didn't want the Alvin and the chipmunks in my yard serenading me.
Oh, boy! I tell you, I looked on the headlines this morning, guys, in the sports world, and it was the top story this morning. And you guys may have heard this, you may have not. New Mexico State University.
I did see that.
Men's hoop shutdown sparked by hazing allegations.
Halted.
With the
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not so sure this game shouldn't have been canceled anyway. They're supposed to play today against Cal Baptist.
Hazing allegations.
Is that a church team, Brett?
In the program.
They're in the league over there? Cal Baptist.
Yeah.
Has suspended its season indefinitely following new allegations of the program, according to a statement from the school. The new allegations involve multiple players being allegedly investigated for their role in hazing attacks on a teammate on more than one occasion. A stadium, I think that's their newspaper, reported. So,
well, the story I saw
it's worse and worse, don't it?
Says indefinitely suspended its men's basketball program in a virtually unheard of move that the university says is unrelated to a fatal shooting involving one of its players last year.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the Aggies players shot a New Mexico student and killed him.
Wow.
Last November.
But I think the program's been
Why would it just now be halted for that reason?
Going down. Well, it says it's unrelated to that.
Oh, okay, unrelated.
But
okay. Wow.
But from what this article says, they've been going downhill since that incident.
Yeah, but this incident is unrelated to the shooting case.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now the Baylor case, it involved a player killing another player.
Another player.
Another player on the team. That's been what now? 10 years ago? 8 years ago?
Who was that? Dave Bliss was the coach?
I think it was more than that.
Was it? Yeah, Bliss was the coach at that time. But this kind of stuff happens. I hate to see, well, obviously hate it happens, but I also hate to see it shuts down a program for lack of a better word, this is the death penalty.
Yeah, that's what I thought of
because you're going to be like SMU was. You're going to be like some of these other schools were when the whole program shut down. You're going to have to rebuild from scratch because you're losing every single player you got, I would guess, today. everybody's going to enter that transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a problem at New Mexico State University, or at least I know I would. I'd be getting out of there. I don't want to ruin my eligibility and my time in school that I have when I'm eligible to play basketball. So yes, I'm going to hop in that portal and go somewhere else and play. But that is
what a mess.
Yeah, that's the best word you could use to sum that up right there, because it is. It just seems to be.
It sounds almost even worse than what Baylor got involved in with the shooting.
Well, I don't know about that, but I guess it could be. But that seems awful. Strange, I guess is the word. It's just strange. But did you guys see any details on the hazing?
No.
What was so? I mean, obviously it's got to be something
pretty
over the
horrific.
top. Yeah, something over the top there. But I don't know. That's just something like that pops up on your screen. It seems like maybe not just the hazing thing, but something strange in the world.
Well, a lot is going
week.
on. The last paragraph of the story says, over the past 14 months, both the school's president and provost have resigned or been removed from their positions. So the whole school's in a state of chaos.
You're going to shut it down. Is it New Mexico or New Mexico State that is in Albuquerque?
Albuquerque is
State.
New Mexico.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lobos.
Okay.
Pretty sure about that one.
I couldn't remember. Now, which one is it that held the Final Four the year that NC State? That was
New
in
Mexico,
Albuquerque.
That was
Okay.
The Pit.
Okay.
Remember the Pit?
Yep. I thought it was in. Well, I knew it was in Albuquerque, so I just couldn't remember which school was that.
I think
Which
New
location?
Mexico is having a really good season.
Okay. Which one did Brian Urlacher attend?
I don't know.
We talked about this a couple months
Yeah.
back. That Urlacher, I want to say he was State, but then again, it's a 50-50 shot. Which one Urlacher went to, I can't recall right off the top of my head, but because we were talking about the most notable alumni, at least sports alumni, out of those, out of some of those particular colleges, and that's what brought up Urlacher himself. Did I mention? I think I did last week, because Rodney Willis had sent me a message one week that I missed and didn't get it on the air, and that was about Sandy Koufax. Didn't we talk about that last week, where Koufax went to school? Do you remember where he went, Mike? You remember? Remember
that would be Illinois. No.
You're not far off as far as geographically.
Yeah, I knew somewhere in the Midwest, which was kind of unusual. I figured he was a West Coast guy.
Yep, Cincinnati. University of Cincinnati. And I would have, that would have just been a long way down the list before I would ever guess Cincinnati. It's where he attended. And we talked about this guy, I think, last week as well, because I had pulled up a picture of this guy, and a really good baseball player, shortstop for many years in the majors, and he had went to the University of Michigan, and that was Barry Larkin.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a surprise too, because usually seems like the top-notch baseball players, they get recruited by the Southern teams. They go to the Southern teams so they don't play in the cold weather for more than half a season. But Larkin didn't. Maybe you would think if he got the offer from a Southern team, he might have went, unless he was Michigan homegrown, and maybe that was the case with Barry Larkin. New Mexico University is in Las Cruces, says Lenny, and I'm still.
No, that's backwards.
That's backwards, yeah.
New Mexico's in Albuquerque.
New Mexico
State is in Las Cruces.
Okay.
Which is probably, that might be what he meant to put, but.
Yeah. Mike, do you know where Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are located? I feel you'll get this one. I feel like.
I sure do. Oklahoma State's in Stillwater. OU's in Norman.
Do you notice he mentioned Oklahoma State first there, Brett, before he?
No, that was just happenstance. I didn't mean anything.
And Brian Urlacher went to New Mexico.
He went to New Mexico, so nothing to do with this New Mexico State. Urlacher's a class guy. I doubt he's laughing because of the sad happenings at New Mexico State right now. But this is, this is.
Who did Urlacher lose to in the Super Bowl? Since we're getting into Super Bowl trivia,
Peyton.
Yep.
And the Colts. We should say the Colts. We shouldn't just say one guy because he didn't lose to one guy. But Peyton Manning did happen to be the quarterback on the other side of the field.
Was that the first Super Bowl in which it's rained? I mean, it pretty much rained the whole game.
It did rain most of the game, and it was in Florida, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you, what happened in that game that also happened in the national championship game that I would bet you's never happened again? Because the national championship game, if I'm not mistaken, that year was Ohio State and maybe Florida. Did they play in the national title game?
Yeah, they did play in a
That's the one I'm thinking of. This thing happened. This happened, and it's on the field. This happened to start those games.
The opening kickoff.
The opening kickoff was returned in both of those.
Yeah.
And those teams lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin Hester, now who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, who was the Ohio State guy that ran it back then?
I don't know about that.
Brett should
Was
be able
it
to call it.
Ted Ginn?
Ted
I think
Ginn.
it was. I think it
That's
was
right.
Ted Ginn. Later played the Panthers, didn't he?
He
Yeah.
did.
For one or two stints.
Saints.
For the Panthers.
That's right.
I don't know if I'd have sat here and got Ted Ginn because that's 10, 12 years ago when that happened. And then, that a couple weeks later, NFL and college football national championship was more like a month later. The same thing happened to start the Super Bowl, and Brett said Devin Hester ran the kickoff back, yet the Bears still lost. I'd like to go back in NFL history and see how many times the opening kickoff of a game has been returned.
I know.
How many do you think it would be in NFL history? 100? I'm just throwing a
When
number
you talk
out there.
about in the broad sweep of NFL
how many
history,
games there's been? I mean, there's 256 games, right, in the regular season every year now. So, even if it's 100, though, the odds that team lost have to be slim, Have you ever watched an overtime game where the kickoff was returned and is over? I was watching one year the Bears. I think it was Thanksgiving Day, if I'm not mistaken. And surely one of our listeners out there will remember this as well. Don't have to be as old as me either to remember this one because I'm going to say it was in the 90s maybe. I'm pretty sure the Bears ran back the opening kickoff of overtime on Thanksgiving Day, if I'm not mistaken there. They were probably playing the Lions or the Cowboys. They had to be playing one of them at that time because nobody else played. And I'm pretty sure it was the Lions they beat with a kickoff return to end it. That's another reason that both teams should get the ball.
Speaking of that Colts-Bears Super Bowl, name a current NFL broadcast commentator who played on the defense for the Colts in that game.
On the defense for the Colts, and now he's an NFL commentator. Is he on a major network? Is he? Defense for the Colts. The Colts had a decent defense. They weren't really known for the defense. They were known for Peyton and points. The two P's.
That's true.
Mike Powell.
The two P's, not the three P's.
But I'm sitting here trying to think of who, some players on that defensive unit.
Or was it Bob Sanders played in the secondary?
Bob Sanders was really good. Bob Sanders was really good for years with the Colts on that defense. I hope Mike isn't leading us astray here, and he really does know that this guy played for the Colts.
But you know what? I can't think of his name.
So he is leading us down.
I will give you some hints. He was once on Monday Night Football as a sideline reporter. He played at LSU.
Not Booger.
Booger.
He wasn't on the Colts team.
He was.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. I know because
fact check
it because I was listening to a podcast, Tony Kornheiser's show.
He might have been. That was after his
And they
Tampa
interviewed
days, then, right?
Yeah.
After his Tampa Bay days.
Yeah, he won one Super Bowl with the Bucks and one with the Colts.
That's right.
It would have been a long,
Two rings.
If you would not have given me a some kind of hint, I may not ever come up with Booger McFarland.
Rich Hauser said Dwight Freeney, but
Yeah, Freeney was really good on that defense
Yeah.
as well. And was
Yeah,
he
he
on
was.
that one? Does he go that
I
far
believe
back?
so.
Yeah.
Because he was a great rusher, right? I mean,
Oh yeah. Today he would be called an edge.
edge man. Yeah. You can call it. They're not defensive ends.
No,
They're edge rushers.
Yeah. When you look at the draft board, that's the way they're listed.
He
now.
only played that 1 year with the Colts.
Yeah, two rings though.
Yep, that would be. Yeah, because
He played for the same coach too in those two Super Bowls. No, he didn't. No, that's right. Because Tampa Bay won their first Super Bowl under John.
No, they did not.
No,
I don't think so. I think
Tony Dungy.
Yeah. Did he not go to the Raiders and lose
Yeah.
to Tony Dungy in that game?
you could be right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well-
Is he left and went to the Raiders, and both teams got to the Super Bowl, but Tampa won that game in an upset. You know, I mean, they
Yeah.
had a couple
That's
pick
right.
sixes in the game
That's
by
right.
one guy, I think,
Yeah.
a linebacker, but a linebacker that wasn't named Derek Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think now, but I'm pretty
He's
sure.
probably the greatest linebacker ever in Tampa Bay history.
Yeah, probably so. Although they got a pair right now that are
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Devin White. Yeah, he's
Devin
good.
White and Levante David, both are pretty solid at that position. But yeah,
by the way, I
still
saw
not as
where-
good as Derek Brooks.
Tom Brady did officially file his retirement papers, so
Mhm.
I guess it will happen this
Mhm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
This shows Tony Dungy's only Super Bowl win as a head coach was with the Colts.
Okay, so maybe it was the other way.
Gruden came in the year after Dungy.
Maybe.
left
That's
and won
right,
the Super Bowl.
and won the Super. Dungy got fired from Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now say that again, Brett. The Colts only win. So that, you know what? Maybe that's the way it was. The way it was. I got the wrong coach in there that I remember leaving one going to the other. And maybe it was Dungy I should be thinking about
Mhm.
that left.
I think
went
it did.
there,
I
and
think
then-
he
and then-
was.
And then I don't know. Then he won a Super Bowl. But no doubt, class act, right?
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Dungy. If anybody deserves a Super Bowl win, it would be Mr. Tony Dungy. So glad to see he got it.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow night, late, one coach has a chance to get his first Super Bowl victory, while another, who's been several times, get another chance to win his second.
Yep.
How many
How
Super
many
Bowls?
coaches have won two
Oh Lord!
or more?
Oh Lord, Mike, that's
That's a lot.
there's a good list of that. Yeah, two or more. Yeah, there's a pretty long list of that. You can start with Don Shula, I think, Tom Landry.
Yep.
Back in the old days, those guys. I think Belichick maybe won at least two. Let me think
I
about
think
that.
so. Maybe.
There's a longer list though of coaches that have only won one or zero.
That's right.
You know, especially
By
the
far.
zero. That's a big list of coaches that have won.
Bill Walsh is
zero.
one more than
Wash
two.
Wash's multiples. Yep. Two. Yeah. I'm thinking four. Right under the direction of Bill Walsh, he got four in that run, and then Seifert got one. Jimmy Johnson's won.
Joe
multiple.
Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs has won multiples. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean,
Yep.
there really are. Pretty good list.
Yeah, Gruden, he went from the Raiders to the Bucks
Mm-hmm.
during the offseason, and that first year he was with the Bucks, they beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl. And that was came to the
I just had it.
Bucks
I had it backwards.
right after Tony Dungy was fired
Yeah.
from the Bucks.
I had my time backwards.
And a
But
journey.
who became the Raiders head coach then? Who was their head coach in the Super Bowl?
Well, you just said it, didn't you?
Mm-mm. I just said Gruden left the Raiders and went to the Bucks. He was actually traded by the Raiders to the Bucks.
And then he beat them.
Yeah.
And the Raiders coach, what would had to been some. You said it was during the season or off season.
Off season.
So they hired somebody to lose that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a Rodney Willis question.
Bill,
So
Yeah.
he's the
Bill.
he's the-
I don't know.
he's I can Callahan.
Was that it? Bill Callahan?
Well, that's who Mike's trying to think of, I think.
Bill Callahan.
Yeah.
That's who I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yep. Bill Callahan was the offensive line coach and took over there, and it might have been him that lost that Super Bowl for the Raiders. I can tell you this: it was not John Madden.
Yeah, Callahan.
Tom Flores. It was Bill Callahan. That's good, Mike. Way to come up with Bill.
Yeah.
A lot of Bills involved in Super Bowls. We do know that.
That's
Parcells. Parcells is another multiple winner, right?
Yep.
14
Didn't he win?
multiple winners in the modern era.
14.
Wow.
I'll tell you that list would be pretty long.
That is.
14. That's yeah. Well, we're getting to the Super Bowl in the numbers now. What is this? 57 maybe coming up. I mean, you're going to have a lot of multiple things, now that we wouldn't have had when we were growing
Super Bowl
up.
showing its age. 57.
When we were growing up, it seems like that if your name wasn't Dallas, Miami, Pittsburgh, you probably weren't even going to be in the Super Bowl. It's just, but that was in the early days.
That's right.
Of this Super Bowl.
It was Dexter Jackson was he was a safety.
He
that
picked two off,
yeah.
didn't he? 2 picks.
Yeah, I think
in
one
that game.
Oh, did he score on both of them?
Well, maybe he didn't, but I thought he did.
It
It became a route, and it became a route because of Tampa Bay's defense.
Yeah.
Lenny says that's correct. It was New Mexico State. We're a long way from the Lou Henson Final Four appearance team. Mike Powell remembers the Lou Henson Final Four. I see him shaking his head over there.
Lou Henson. That's
About
right.
what year would that have been?
Lou Henson.
And where did Lou Henson go on and coach? Did he go to Illinois or somewhere like that? Where did he go, Lenny? Because I remember Lou Henson, I thought from somewhere else other than, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I remember him from the New Mexico days. But Lou Henson, you remember the name, Brett? Lou Henson?
Mm-mm.
I've heard the name. But
Yeah. Oh, Mike, I thought you'd know. Where else did he coach, Lenny? Tell me where did he go somewhere after?
Listen
after
to these Hall of
Mexico?
Famers that played in that Super Bowl.
In the Tampa Super Bowl?
Yeah. For the Raiders,
Charles Woodson.
yep.
You ought to see how many we can name.
Four on each side.
Oh, Lord. I might be finished with Charles Woodson.
Well, plus Al Davis is in the Hall
I was
of
gonna
Fame.
say
But
the
no, that's
Raiders-
not one of the four.
The Raiders had 4.
Yeah, and a few of them were at the end of their career.
yeah.
Rod Woodson was not on that team. Okay.
Yes,
Not me.
Rod Woodson was.
Rod Woodson.
Yep.
Who did I say I meant?
Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah. So Rod was, but not Charles. Charles, that's too early for Charles.
No. Yes, they were both on the team.
Oh, I thought you
Charles
just told me he
Woodson
wasn't.
and Rod Woodson.
I thought you were telling me he wasn't. So I got 2 Raiders,
Yeah.
and actually the Bucks should be easier to get in the Hall of Fame because Derek Brooks,
Yep.
Warren
Yep.
Sapp,
Yep.
Warren Sapp.
They're all defense.
John Lynch.
Yep.
Come on, Mike. You're gonna have to help me here.
I'm
Getting no
trying,
help.
I'm
I've got
trying,
5.
I'm
I've got
trying.
5 already of the 8.
Mm.
Another Tampa Bay guy that went into the Hall of Fame on that defense had to be that interior lineman.
Mm-mm.
No, I was thinking about that interior lineman. I can't even remember his name.
No,
right.
not a lineman.
Okay.
Not a lineman.
Another linebacker.
Nope.
I mean, oh well, there you go, Mike. Secondary.
And we already named the safeties were John Lynch and Dexter Jackson, so he was not a safety.
Yeah. Who was the best corner on that? Why can I not think of who the best corner was on that Tampa Bay team? Rondé Barber.
Yep.
Rondé Barber.
Thank you, Nobby. Appreciate that.
Now you're
Rondé
missing
Barber,
two
one of the
Raiders.
Barbers.
Two Raiders.
Two Raiders.
Two
Hall of
Raiders,
Famers.
so-
One of them is a linebacker whose first name is Bill. Am I right?
No.
No.
No. No.
He's going after the Bills today.
These
Going
are
to Parsons.
offensive players.
Offensive players for the
Offensive
Raiders, and we got the 2 Woodsons on the.
Yeah, Charles
On
Woodson,
the-
Rob
on the
Woodson.
Cliff Branch? No, that's too
That's
early.
way.
And
too
these
late.
guys were both late in their career.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was one the quarterback?
No.
Yeah.
Rich Gannon, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not. No, he's not. You're not. But Rich Gannon, I don't know, for some reason he's one of my all-time favorite players. I just liked
Yeah.
the way he
He
played
did
the
have a
game.
great year that
And he's a
season.
good broadcaster too. But I don't even think he does it anymore, does he? But he went into the broadcast booth for a while. Lenny says about back to Lou Henson. I think in '71, I think he went to Illinois. So maybe I was right on the Illinois. Rodney's got him here.
One of these was a Heisman winner.
Yeah, one was a Heisman winner, and
Marcus-
the other one came at the end of his career. Is that right?
Oh yeah, he wasn't a Raider for a long
Right.
time.
He came over at the end of his career.
Yeah.
So I know them both because Rodney's helping me out over here.
But one of them's
and don't know how I missed him because
in my opinion, one of the two greatest receivers of all time.
yeah, and most people would put him at number 1. So who is it, Mike? Who do you think is the top receiver of all time in NFL history?
Well, I think it's Jerry Rice.
Well, that's one of them because he went and played with the Raiders at the end of his career.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, won the Heisman.
He was a running back, right?
Nope.
Nope, pair of wide receivers there. Long-time Raider. Lifelong Raider, as far as I know. Don't think he ever left.
He did
the Raiders.
leave after that.
Did he?
Yep. I actually think he went to Tampa.
I'll give you a hint. I'm surprised Brett don't have on a shirt with his college on it.
Oh, yeah. God, he won the Heisman.
Lanny's not even guessing either.
Tim Smith?
You're close.
Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
Yep, Tim Brown.
Tim Brown. So there were 8 Hall of Famers in that Super Bowl. I wonder if that's ever happened. I guess it has because any Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl,
Yeah.
of the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they might have had 8 on their team.
Yeah, just their team, much less the opponents. And the Dallas Cowboys, when they played them, they had some too. I know Bob Lilly's in off of that team.
And when I said
Staubach's in.
when I said one of the two greatest receivers of all time, you know who I think is the other, the 1A to Jerry Rice's 1.
Oh yeah, it's I know exactly who it is. It's what's the receiver's name that was pulled all his whole uniform off and started dancing out in the end zone on the field when he quit?
Oh, Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. That's going to be
Not
his
him.
pick.
He had a chance to be if he hadn't gone crazy.
If he hadn't gone crazy.
If Vontez Burfict hadn't ruined his brain.
So who is Brett thinking is also the top receiver in NFL? With Brett, you never know. It might be Art Monk.
No, to me, there are two that stand out over the rest,
Art.
Yeah.
and it's Jerry Rice and
T.O.?
no.
T.O. had a horrible attitude, but as a player, he was top 5. Do you think?
Probably.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't even say he had a horrible attitude.
Well, I mean,
He was really passionate.
he was passionate, but he would turn people off. He would turn fans off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this guy I'm talking about might have turned some fans off.
That's why I threw Antonio Brown out there.
No, this guy was nothing like.
Could Antonio Brown been in that category?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said Vontez Burfict damaged his brain.
Yep. Well, I got it because Rodney got it. That's right here too because it's one of my favorite players of all time. And I'll give you a hint.
Give me a hint. Something.
He owned the Dallas Cowboys. He owned the Dallas Cowboys more than Jerry Jones did. This guy had his career days. Am I right, Brett? Had his career
Against
days
the Cowboys?
against the Dallas Cowboys.
So that he was in the NFC.
He was. That don't mean anything. They play the AFC too, but he wouldn't have had as many because they only play them once every 4 years.
He played in the AFC too.
He did. He even played on that Raider team, didn't he?
He did play for the Raiders at one point.
He played for the Raiders at one point. He played for I'm not going to give you his most years where he became a Hall of Famer was his first stop, but he also won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. If that helps you any, right, Brett?
Oh God!
And you have
Marshall.
stopped and ate lunch in his hometown, didn't we, Brett? We stopped in his hometown and ate lunch on the way back from Pittsburgh or Cleveland. Yes. I know it's tough.
Are you sure he won a Super Bowl?
No, I'm not.
Didn't. He was on the.
I know he was on the team that was 19-0 and lost to the Giants.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
I don't know if he won one.
His only
I don't know if he
chance
won one or not.
That was probably his only.
And he was
chance
only there
then.
for a couple years.
Rodney says.
Yeah, he lost. He played in 2 Super Bowls and lost both.
Randy Moss almost played for the Irish.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Why would that
he
have
did.
been? You know, Randy Moss went where? Florida State. He went to Florida State, and he had been in a little bit of trouble in high school.
Marshall, hadn't he?
He wound up.
That's
at
where he
Marshall.
ended up. Yeah,
But he went to Florida State. He was going to play for Bobby Bowden at Florida State. And this is in Florida State's heyday, you know, when they're getting about anybody they want.
Right.
But Florida State, did they tell him no, or did he just wind up changing
I can't
on his
remember.
own and going to Marshall closer to home? I don't remember what the situation was either, but he got in a little trouble. I think.
Yeah, he was at Florida State for a year. I don't know if he actually played or what, but
I think he was involved in a major fight at his high school, if I'm not mistaken, and
yeah,
something happened there that
he had.
turned
He's
Florida State off.
his
or
story
made him
is
stay
similar
closer.
to Allen Iverson's story. He was, troubled in high school.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
grew out of it.
Yeah.
Both of them, I guess. You
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah. They had similar
Both grew out of it.
attitudes and.
Yeah.
Randy Moss was.
But yeah, he's one of my favorite players.
One of my all-time
ever.
favorite players to watch play. I mean, he could make the ridiculous play at a time they weren't making the ridiculous play, and I don't know. I think he had on a Thanksgiving Day, didn't he have right at 200 yards and 3 touchdown catches? Or I think he just had 3 catches in that game
all
against
touchdowns.
Dallas, and they were all touchdowns, maybe of more than 50 yards in that one particular game. But he definitely wanted to watch. So now back to what was your trivia question a while ago, Mike? It was Booger.
Yeah,
It was Booger
McFarland.
Yeah, we were not you, Sullivan. It was Booger McFarland that we were trying to come up with. We got to take our first time out. I'll throw one out there. Now, here's what I want though. Leave those phones and those computers alone a minute and try to get this one off the top of your head.
All right.
We talk a lot about, is there a quarterback university? Is there a quarterback U? Because if you look in the NFL right now, it's just scattered everywhere, right? I mean, you got quarterbacks from
Texas Tech.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, of the 32 teams, how many schools you think are represented at starting quarterback? 25?
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, not many have multiples.
It is spread out.
What school and how many has the most quarterbacks that have started a Super Bowl game? Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk. I got two correct answers coming in with the school. I don't have the number that of quarterbacks that this particular school had that started a Super Bowl correct as of yet. So two correct answers with the school. And the question again was, which college has produced the most starting quarterback names? We'll do it that way because, like Brett said earlier, if you consider how many times, then Michigan's going to win this hands down because Brady's been there 7 or 8 or
10.
9 or 10.
7 and 3,
10,
right?
10. I was just counting the wins. But 10 on his own. Brady's been to 10 on his own. So we're not counting how many by school, but how many different quarterbacks, by that school. Which one leads the way. And I think if you guys think a little bit.
Well, I'm thinking Pittsburgh.
You'll come up with it. Pittsburgh? Okay. Give me that list after Dan Marino.
Oh, that's right. Not Pittsburgh. Forget it. I withdraw that answer.
Is he counting Kenny Pickett for next year?
Yeah, I'm thinking Pickett's going to be there
only
next
quarterbacks
year.
I can name out of Pitt are Pickett, who's currently, who did I just say? Marino and Brett Shirt to give you a hint on the other one that came out of Pittsburgh. Show him the name of the place that you got on your shirt there. There
Baltimore?
you go. I don't know a quarterback named Baltimore. Mike can't get it with the last name given to him. Wow. Best quarterback out of Pitt, other than Dan Marino, most likely. So far. Now, I would say that the young guy there now.
Blackledge. Todd Blackledge.
His name's on his shirt, Mike.
Oh, Kavanaugh. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Brett Kavanaugh.
Got the last two letters right. Makes it easy.
Just tell him and get off of this.
Matt
Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
Of course.
Followed the great Dan Marino at Pitt, which were some hard shoes to fill, believe me, if you're going to follow somebody.
Well, one that came to mind to me was
that.
Miami.
The University of Miami starting Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well,
Jim Kelly.
Yep. That's another one that would have at least
multiple.
4.
Yeah.
If you, yeah.
But he might even be the only one. Is he the only one?
Alabama has 3. We know that.
Alabama. We do know. Because I told you during the break, we never could name the third. I mean, you guys jumped
Counting
on
Jalen Hurts?
Tarkington.
You mean that Georgia Bulldog, Fran Tarkenton?
Oh, he was Georgia. That's right.
Does Jalen Hurts count for Alabama?
No, we're
I don't know. I wouldn't think it does
Oklahoma.
because he hadn't started it yet, and he is. Yeah, it is. He
Oh,
is
okay.
actually,
So you're not even counting him in this.
I don't. Yeah,
discussion.
well, he hasn't started it yet.
Wait
so
a
I don't
minute.
think
OU
that,
has dibs on him. He played for OU a year.
So he gets both. Like Russell Wilson gets Wisconsin or NC State.
Yeah.
What is it? Russell always said the whole
pack of Badgers.
So he got both teams in there
Mm-hmm.
when he was mentioning
Whole pack
his school.
of Badgers.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of these, and we'll see if we can name them, okay? The multiples anyway that have started. Here's one I could not get just right off the bat. Boston College has 2.
Matt Ryan.
Did Flutie start in a –
No, not start, did he?
I'm asking. I mean, I can't name you another Boston College quarterback.
I don't remember Flutie
off the top
playing in
of
a Super Bowl.
my head.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, that's
we
one.
got
that
him.
one.
We got Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was the one we could name.
I don't know. Must have been one a long time ago.
Yeah, and I'll see here in a little bit. Brett can check some of these maybe. I don't want him to check yet, though, because if you check right now, you'll see the answer to the
I'm just looking for Boston College's.
quarterbacks. Yep. I got
Matt Hasselbeck.
Rodney here.
Did he play in the
has-
Super Bowl?
Rodney's named 4. He's still missing one on this list, though, of quarterbacks. This one school has 5.
Wow.
Then you go Alabama has 3. Purdue has 3. I can name 2 of them.
Breeze and Greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can name
That's
2,
all I
Breeze
can
and
name.
Greasy. I cannot think of the third one
Yeah.
at the University of Purdue. Notre Dame, Brett, has 3,
Oh,
winning 2 of those. And I do not know. I mean, you name Montana
and Theismann.
and Theismann.
And Theismann lost his.
And so I'm trying to remember who the other Notre Dame guy was that started
Daryl
Super Bowl.
LaMonica.
So he won.
Just kidding.
um,
Ooh, who was it?
where'd LaMonica go? That may be the answer. I don't know. I don't know where
Well, I
Daryl.
know
I
know
can't remember
Daryl
where Daryl
LaMonica went
LaMonica
to
plays.
Notre Dame, but I don't.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure he won one, didn't he?
I'm not. No.
I think he won their first one, Mike. I may be wrong.
Did
I
he?
thought LaMonica won their first one, and then it was Plunkett and Plunkett, wasn't it? After that. Here's another one. Lenny says, my guess is Purdue. I know 3, but there may have been 4. What we're looking for, I'll just go ahead and tell you, the number we're looking for is 5. This one is Rodney says you were right on LaMonica going to So he did win a Super Bowl. That means LaMonica would have won the Raiders, I'm guessing, their first one.
Yep.
And then I think it
the
had to be
first one.
Plunkett the next 2 times. Lenny, you're right with Purdue having 3.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a school. No school stands there at 4, you know.
No. 5.
But there is a school that has had 5 quarterbacks start a Super Bowl game, and I'm going to say 70s, 80s, 2000s, and in the 2010s.
Brigham Young.
There again, I'm going to let you start that list, that long list after Steve Young.
Jim McMahon.
2. That's right. You're right. You're good there. My computer.
Ty Detmer, no Super Bowl.
I had no Super
You know
Bowl
what?
with
I think
Ty
Coy
Detmer.
came closer.
Coy Detmer.
Coy would have came closer than Ty. I can't remember. Didn't he not quarterback the Eagles, and they might have got beaten in an NFC Championship game or something because of injury? Coy had to, it seems like. Maybe I'm wrong about that. The Mad Bomber is what Rodney says when you're talking about LaMonica. Says he's right.
Yeah.
It looks like he played in Super Bowl II,
Lenny Dawson.
but they didn't win.
Yep. Len Dawson, they lost to Green Bay.
No.
And Lenny Lenny says Greasy, Lenny Dawson, which he should be able to get that one, right?
That
And
was
Drew
Super
Brees.
Bowl I, right?
That was the first one. Second one was the Raiders.
That's who I'm talking about. LaMonica,
Oh, okay.
Super Bowl II.
So LaMonica did not start the next. I'd forgot about that one. I
All this
apologize.
mentions is he played in Super Bowl II.
So he did not play in the Super Bowl. It's a start, though. That's what we were looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah.
It's a start. So that's what we were looking for. Rodney says Mike's BYU train has come to a screeching halt.
Screeching halt after McMahon. You're right.
So we did get 2 out of them. We did get 2
Is
out
this?
of
I
them.
mean, it's got to be a big time program, right?
Got to be.
Big time college football program? No. Wow. How about that?
Gosh.
I know what you're thinking. I mean, yeah. It's a big school in a big state, but it is not a major program in college football today.
Ooh.
Not a major program.
Boy, this is.
I just can't believe, that, just go
Miami
back,
of Ohio.
go back a few years and name one. Ben Roethlisberger and
I'm blank.
Syracuse.
Ooh, Syracuse, Jonathan McNabb.
I don't even know. Yeah, McNabb, he did start a Super Bowl, didn't he? Maybe
Yeah, he
multiples.
He did.
Maybe multiples, but that's just one guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about guys in the '70s. I don't know where they went.
Wow.
I know Terry Bradshaw didn't go to a big time school, but I'm sure that's the only quarterback from his school.
Didn't he go to? Is it Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss?
Louisiana Tech is exactly right. Yeah, the Duck Master. Whatever his name is. He was the backup. Bradshaw was the backup
Favre went to
when he
Southern
first
Miss.
arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel sure that's their only.
No,
Only
wait. It's
one.
got okay. It's the Packers.
We're going for the college.
We're going for the
That had
college,
the
that's
most.
right, yeah.
That had the
Yeah.
most quarterback. I think we could get the
Yeah.
NFL ones.
Yeah.
Morehead State, Phil Simms.
Morehead State, Phil Simms.
Morehead State. No.
They got 4 others.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so funny. I like it.
University, not Florida.
You ain't gonna believe this. Now my page is going away. There it is. It just won't open. I mean, it's like it's stuck in
Is it a private school or a public university?
public. I'm gonna go ahead and give it because we did have 2 guys out there,
Had 4.
Rodney and Richard. They got the right school. They just couldn't name me.
Will
all
you give the
5.
school one? in-
California.
Crumbles into the sea. Mike Powell
Eventually.
finally comes through.
Eventually.
Finally comes through.
Well, I got to give
with
credit
Cal.
to Stephen Lowe. Who mentioned it.
You should. You
On
better give
Facebook.
credit when somebody helps you.
Credit to Stephen.
Yep. And now I was silent and held mine for a while, but Mike blurts his right out whenever he gets. Of course, Mike didn't know it was right,
No.
so.
So
but
who are they from Cal? Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna see if you can name them. Lanny, help him.
Um,
I thought you were in on this, Lanny. You've been. Well, Aaron Rodgers is the. But guess what? There's been one since him.
Oh, no. He's now with the Lions.
There you go. Jared
Goff.
Yeah,
Jared
Goff.
Named after another sport.
Roman Gabriel? No.
Roman Gabriel went to
NC State.
NC
that's
State.
right.
That was you and Lanny teaming up earlier on those NC State guys. The other 3 are prior to Brett.
Prior to
Yep.
Brett was born
Prior to
in,
Brett.
in the 80s.
I could probably give you the 3 teams they played for. And Mike would probably get 1 or 2. But you go way back to get the other one. And I'm thinking, I'm not got it 100% in my mind. I'm thinking the Vikings was this the quarterback played for the Vikings prior to Tarkenton. I may have the team wrong because it didn't give me the team. that they played for, but I think this
prior to Tarkington.
Yeah. Yep, I think this guy played prior to Tarkington. I'll go ahead and give you the other two hints, okay?
Joe Cap.
Yep, so it was Minnesota. That's how you got that right.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was a Dallas Cowboy, and the other one was an L.A. Ram. They started for the Cowboys and the Rams, and Lenny says one is Joe Cap, and he's right, too, along with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Jared Goff.
You got
Rodgers, who went with the Rams.
Yeah.
You got Aaron Rodgers, who took the Packers. You got Joe Cap, who took the Vikings. See,
Vikings.
everybody thinks, and I always thought Tarkington suffered all 4 of those losses. He didn't. He only
I couldn't have.
only had
right.
3.
I couldn't have named Joe Cap, what NFL team he played for, or where he went to college.
Yep.
See, you say one of them.
That's why it's trivia.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. But now I'll give you the other 2 where they played. One was a Cowboy. One was a Ram. They led those 2 teams to the Super Bowl, and one of them won. The Cowboy won his Super Bowl, while the Ram lost his Super Bowl.
Cowboy won his Super Bowl.
The Cowboy, they beat the Denver Broncos. Remember that? When they played Denver and beat the Broncos way back in the 70s. And then the other one, the Rams, I think they lost to those 70 Steelers that beat just about everybody.
Don Meredith.
That they.
No.
I don't know where Don Meredith went to college. That's good. That's a good question too. That's a good. I never heard about Don Meredith and where he might have went to college. But
I feel like he went somewhere in the South, but I couldn't.
And you know what? He might have went to Cal,
No.
but he didn't start in the Super Bowl.
No.
If he did,
SMU.
SMU for him.
Is where Meredith went.
Yep.
Makes sense, don't it?
Yeah, he had that Texas
Long-time
drawl.
Texan. Long-time Texan. You want me to just throw them out there and give them to you, Mike? Are you through? Are you?
You said one of them was with the Rams.
One was with the Rams.
And one won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys?
One won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys.
God, it had to be in the 70s.
And it either was due to injury.
I thought only Staubach.
It was either due to
Aikman
injury
won.
of Staubach, or it was just prior to.
Oh, okay.
Cliff Longley.
Or that would be Clint, and that's still wrong.
Longley.
Luke Longley.
Get the Longley brothers in there.
Boy.
Lenny has named one of them, so since Lenny's named one of them, I'll go ahead and tell you.
Okay.
The Cowboys quarterback was Craig Morton.
Oh, yeah.
Craig Morton was the quarterback of the Cowboys when they beat the Denver Broncos way back in that Super Bowl. And now all you like is
The one from
The Rams?
Rams.
Jim Everett. He didn't play the Super Bowl, did he?
His initials, I'm going to give you the initials. VF. There's you some initials. VF.
Vince Ferragamo.
Vince Ferragamo.
All right.
All right. Oh, he's bragging now.
Give me my
I got it.
props.
The daddy of trivia over there, Mike Powell.
Hey.
But all right, my screen went away on the rest of that Super Bowl stuff. I have to try to find it back a different way here in a little bit. But,
Yeah, he guessed Packers for one of the
He did.
schools that
He picked-
produced 5.
I got confused. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Richard gets it as well with the VF, Vince Ferragamo. And they lost to Pittsburgh, I'm pretty
A
sure.
name that will live in infamy.
Yeah.
Vince Ferragamo.
Yeah.
Out of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
Mike, what was the trivia question? What was the trivia question?
No, that's right. Why am I associating him with Nebraska? Yeah, of course, California, obviously.
Yep. He was a Cal guy. Played. I don't know if he played his entire career with the Rams or not. But that was at a time. He was a starter for a couple of years, wasn't he? He didn't. He just wasn't a fly-by-night
He did play
guy.
at Nebraska.
Did he?
He finished at Nebraska.
How about that? Well, Mike knows what he's talking about.
See you there?
I didn't
Yep.
know.
Hey, don't be. He was a Cal. He finished at Nebraska.
No, he was at Cal 72 and 73.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska 75, 76. So I don't know what he did in between
What did he do
there.
for 2 years.
Did he? Did he play baseball or was he in the military or something?
Sure.
My notes don't give me all that. It just gives me those 5. And some of those teams on there, guys, we weren't even able to name them, name their starters. Eventually, I think we got all 3 of Purdue's, right? And then a couple of other schools.
Or maybe he had to
as
sit
well.
out a year in between.
Yeah, Lenny says he did play some at Nebraska. So, Ferragamo, California, I guess from California. If I had to look with a name like that back at that day and time.
So since he started at Cal and finished at Nebraska, then that means you got to give Alabama Jalen Hurts.
Okay,
because he started at Alabama and finished at Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's going to give him 4, right? I mean, Alabama 4.
So that gives Ohio State Joe Burrow.
So you're saying they both get to claim them?
Yeah,
both schools get to claim them. Okay.
Well, yeah, if Cal gets to claim Ferragamo,
I guess so.
then
Yeah. And evidently he played, or Mike wouldn't remember him just going to school at Nebraska. Lenny wouldn't either. It ain't like he just went to school.
Oh no, he played.
I got
he played
one
at
for
Nebraska.
you.
Okay.
We know that Chris Stapleton is going to sing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl, right?
Well, I think that's the plan.
All right. Who sang the longest national anthem?
Whitney Houston.
In the Super Bowl.
Whitney Houston.
Nope.
No. That was just my first guess.
That's a great guess.
Just my first one because I can still hear it. Sang the longest national anthem.
Average length is 1:50, but this one went over 3 minutes.
Wow. Male or female?
I think it was Hendrix doing. No. Female.
Female. That's a good one. I'll tell you what, we'll take our second time out and let people ponder on that a little bit. Who sang the longest Super Bowl over 3 minutes, you say?
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
3.5 minutes to get they were ready to play.
And the over-under for Stapleton tomorrow is 1 minute and 35 seconds.
1:35.
Well, you said the average minute and a half.
Average about 1.5 minutes.
So,
yeah.
That's a good trivia question. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Thank you, Richard. I did say it wrong a while ago. Craig Morton started a Super Bowl. He was on the other side. Richard,
He was Denver.
Yeah, he played for Dallas, but then later on he went to Denver.
That's right, he did play
So
for
yeah,
Dallas.
and I had that backwards. It was Staubach that beat him.
Yeah.
But he did start in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did have that backwards. But I remember Morton. What I'm trying to remember now, I always usually really good on numbers. I'm trying to remember what number Craig Morton wore, and I think 14. But
I'm pretty sure Staubach and
Staubach
Aikman
was
are the only
Aikman was
Cowboy
8.
To wear
Super
12.
Bowl
the
winners.
winner, yeah. But Morton was not bad in
No.
his time with Dallas.
No.
He was pretty good in his time with the Cowboys. But you're exactly right, Richard. I did say that one the wrong way. Says played 2 years at Cal and transferred to Nebraska. Now we're back to Ferragamo. This is from Lenny. In those days, you had to sit out a year.
You did?
Way back in those days.
Way back.
What are they thinking? Had to sit out a year. Who would punish somebody for sitting out a year? And you know what? If the players have to sit out a year, should the coaches have to sit out a year? They take another job?
Yeah, Craig Morton
I would say no. But
won Super Bowl VI as a backup quarterback behind Staubach.
So he did win one.
He did win one, but he didn't play.
Didn't play. Didn't start.
Okay, I got you. He did win one with Dallas.
With Dallas, yeah.
So
And
if
then
anybody ever asks you, yes, he did win
then
one
later
with
lost to
Dallas.
Dallas.
He just was not the starter in that contest. So how about that? Wonder where he is these days, Mike Powell. You know where he went to college, don't you? You know where he went?
Staubach? Yes, I
No.
do.
Craig Morton.
Oh, Craig Morton.
That'd be Cal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
He's got to be
got
in
the-
his. I don't know.
It says his numbers were 14, 15, and 7. So I don't know how long he wore each or for which
Yeah, I
team
think
he
he was-
wore each.
I think he was 14 in Dallas when I remember him playing, but hopefully he did not go to Denver and wear 7
And he
because
played for
nobody
the-
will ever remember that.
He played for the Giants in between.
Did he?
Yeah.
Giants get a lot of those guys for
Well traveled
a time or
late in
two,
his
kind of
career.
like Fran Tarkenton also played, for the Giants. Recent inductee Super Bowl trivia. Who's the only player from a losing team to be named MVP of the Super Bowl? And I do remember this. I actually watched that one.
MVP
But it's way
and
back.
Losing calls.
Yep. I wish Rodney wouldn't have put. Well, I'll tell you it this way. I wouldn't have guessed it. I could sit here all day and probably not have guessed who it was, but I do remember. it. Lenny says, 14 on Morton playing for Dallas. The only player to be on a lose. I can give you the team, and I don't think you're going to get it.
Craig
Rodney-
Morton wore number 7 with the Broncos.
Yeah. You never remember that, will you? I picture somebody else when I see the orange number 7.
That's right.
Jersey in Denver.
Elway.
So you said there's only been one player to win MVP on a losing team? Is that what you said?
Yep.
That ain't what I said.
Oh.
That's what I read. That's what I read. And that's from Rodney, who is the only player from a losing team to be named MVP of the Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you this.
I'm guessing it was a long time ago.
It was.
Since you said you watched it. I mean, I would,
yeah, right.
I know you watched all of them since I've been alive.
I think the first one I remember watching, this is funny, was this one. The first one I ever remember watching was this one.
Now I'm thinking
that helps
like,
you but you're not going to get it. I don't think Mike would get it because it's a defensive player. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he defensive? Tell me if I'm wrong on that, Rodney. I think he was a defensive guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to get it. If you don't even know what side of the ball he played on, I'm definitely.
And they lost to the Colts on a last-second field goal, 16-13 back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been Super Bowl 5.
16-13.
16-13, so.
And the Colts
I could see when it come down to the final play.
The Colts were NFC back then.
Were Colts NFC back then?
They weren't? No.
Nope, they played an NFC team, one we've been talking about. I told you he played for.
It had to be
didn't
the
I?
Cowboys.
Yeah,
Right?
it was the Cowboys.
Okay.
Dallas
Cowboys
beat them 16-13. I mean, Colts beat Dallas 16-13. This guy had 2 picks, so now I know he plays defense. All I had to do is read that. Rodney, if I'd went to the bottom, you wouldn't have had to send me that he was a linebacker.
2 picks. Linebacker. Had to be.
I'll give you his initials too, Mike, and you still won't get it.
Okay.
CH. We got a guess here, and it was a great guess because that's the first one came to my mind. Rodney
Charles.
says, not Rodney, but
Charles Hayden.
Mike. I mean, Ned says Bob Lilly, and Bob Lilly did get it. They were defensive, but they won.
Yeah.
He was a defensive player that
Charles
got it,
Hayden.
and he shared it. Who?
Charles Haley.
Yep. No.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't
best
playing
hint
Super
was-
Bowl 5.
It was Super Bowl 5. And
Oh,
that
Super
takes
Bowl 5.
not 35.
Not 30. Yeah. Ooh, Super Bowl 5.
Lenny's got it. He just misspelled the second name. He
You
gave
said
me
it's
a
CH,
he gave me
right?
he gave me a Christmas ornament instead of how it's supposed to be pronounced and spelled.
CH.
But
Christmas.
y'all dwell on that a little while I'm going
Christmas
through.
No, I'm never going to get it.
No, you won't get
I
it.
don't know.
A Christmas ornament.
Yeah, if I give the initials or CH and a Christmas decoration, I should say. Not
Herb Cross.
Um,
That's not right.
oh, I like the way you use cross there with the Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I was
piece.
thinking.
Mike, you said CH. That would be.
Yeah,
would be
Irv
it.
Cross. CH, that's it. Irv Cross.
CH.
Chuck Howley. Let's get that out of the way. Chuck Howley.
Oh, yeah, linebacker,
Yep.
yeah.
Chuck Howley, the great
early
Chuck Howley.
Cowboys teams, yeah.
Yep. Lenny.
Chuck Howley.
Lenny put Howley on there. So
Chuck Howley.
that is a hard one, especially when you. And I didn't even ask that one. That's a Rodney. Question.
Leave it to Rodney to come up with that. Right?
Yep. Exactly. Let's see. What is the?
Hey, Steve K chiming in. He got it.
Yeah.
Chuck
Well,
Howley.
he should because
He's a Cowboy fan.
and he's old.
And he's old.
Two things.
things. You
Two
need
things to throw in there.
to get that one.
It helps to be a fan of the team it was on, and it helps to
Chuck
be
Howley, Steve
old
K.
like me and Mike and Lanny. Let's not leave Lanny out of that category.
A long-suffering Cowboy fan, Steve K.
Let's see. Richard says, I look at the list of quarterbacks that have won multiple Super Bowls and just realize how important it is to have a great QB to do it. That's
Yeah.
about the truth. Didn't we say there were how many? Did we ever name how many quarterbacks have won multiples? What was the 14 number earlier we came up with? There was 14 had done something.
Coaches of work.
14 coaches.
14
won
coaches
multiple.
have won multiple. So wonder how many quarterbacks have won. So I see how teams would give up. Get interesting. Just right off the top of your head, quarterbacks that have won multiples are Brady, Montana, Staubach,
Bradshaw.
Aikman, Bradshaw.
Both Mannings.
That's 5. Peyton only won one.
No.
Peyton
No,
only
he won
won
2.
one.
No, he didn't.
He won
won with
2.
the Broncos.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So both Mannings, that's
You're right.
7.
You're right.
I would have almost skipped that one,
Plunkett.
Brett.
Did we say Plunkett?
I think Plunkett won 2 of the Raiders. Did he, Nobby?
I
think
so.
Plunkett did win 2 of the Raiders. And
He may be the only quarterback with 2 Super Bowl wins.
And not in the Hall of Fame. How is that possible?
Eli's not in. Yet Eli's not in yet.
Eli's coming in the car.
Eli's coming. I like it, Mike. There's our
Ben
music
Roethlisberger. He's not in yet.
Of the, Roethlisberger's won multiples. He sure did.
Bart Starr won the first two.
Bart Starr. How about
I like Mike confirming your answers, almost like he's naming it. You know.
how about Bob Greasy? Just won one.
Did Earl Moore, quarterback, start in one of those and win it for the Dolphins, and Greasy won the other?
Could be.
They won back to back, and then they might even won a third. But Greasy might have won multiples. I don't know. That's a Lenny thing there on Greasy, whether or not he won multiples. Lenny says, "Here's more trivia: who kicked the game-winning field goal?" I know that. I knew that one. You know, for the Colts when they beat Dallas, and it was Jim O'Brien. Only an old-timers Colts fans would know that.
Yeah.
I remember it just because I've seen it over and over. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have remembered it from the game, I don't think, when I was that age. But I remember it because you see it all the time, you know, Jim O'Brien hitting the game winner. So I would have got that one. That's one of the few this morning I would have got. But I would have got that one. West Virginia at Texas kicks off today. Tips off, I should say, today at high noon. That game's on ESPN2. Is there? I'm going to run through a few. Is there a game? Think about it in your head that and take your favorite team out. But is there a matchup today in college basketball that would be worthy of spending some time to watch? That's exactly what I thought. Is it that way every day?
Yes.
So you're saying college basketball.
Wake me up in March.
It's at an all-time low, man.
It is.
The teams are not good.
It's not.
The teams are not good. The early departures are killing college basketball. College football's at an all-time high. It can't get any higher.
And we know the reason for that. 3 years.
They have to stick around. College basketball is torture to watch. It is just torture to watch. I mean, I don't even know if I could watch number 1 and number 2 play against each other. I just think. I mean, look, Alabama is riding high. They're ranked 3rd in the country. They were one of the best. Oklahoma blew them out a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense.
Well, Purdue has Zach Edney. He's the big man, but they just lost to Indiana.
Duke fans can't be happy. Carolina fans can't be happy.
I'm miserable.
I think they're bad for different reasons, though. I haven't figured Carolina's out yet, but
I can't
talked with a former head high school basketball coach a couple nights ago who is a big Carolina follower, and he said if you watched the bench the other night when Carolina was making a comeback against Wake, and what's the little guards? I've asked 5 times.
Caleb Lowe.
Love. Thank you.
Yeah.
Caleb Love hit 3 threes, and I said that's a key right there because he's getting his shot back, and they're going to be a force down the stretch. But this person said if you watch the bench, they weren't hype, they weren't doing anything. They were just.
I've heard there's some internal problems,
and that's what he said.
Well, I think their 2 starting guards have issues. Love
with each
and
other?
Davis, yeah. I think
other?
there's something
Nobody's
going on
getting
there.
the ball to Baycott.
I promise you, this guy right here that I talked to. And
I know who it
out.
was. He went
knows,
to Carolina.
Yes, he did. He knows what's going on within that program.
Yeah.
So he says there's something going on, and it's not a good thing. So I don't know. I don't know what might happen there. NC State at Boston College. Must-watch TV. Marquette at Georgetown. Providence St. John. Yeah, Providence St. John. Boy, you just a lot of these teams, you know, that you expect to be up at the top in the rankings, and
the best game on there to me is probably Alabama and Auburn. Auburn's not ranked, but they're good. They're well coached at that Auburn.
The Iron Arena. Since it's not a bowl. The Iron Arena today at Auburn.
They'll give Alabama a game.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how people feel about him. I love watch Bruce Pearl. I can't help it. He is into what he's doing.
Yeah,
he is into what he's doing, and yeah, I'm with you. They'll give Alabama. I would think they'll give them a fit playing them at home today, 2:00. So if my TV's on, which it probably will be, I'll probably have it tuned to that one just to see at some point how it's going. 2 ranked teams, UConn and Creighton. UConn's hit the skids a little bit lately, right? Weren't they up in the top 5 at one time? Now down to 21.
Yeah,
down to number 21, which is a surprise.
But they've lost 3 in a row. I mean, they've won 3 in a row now. They've they've kind of gotten
Everybody goes
out
through
of
that,
their
don't
bad
they?
stretch.
Or
They
90,
lost like
teams,
5 out of 6. But
90% of your teams go through. You
Yeah.
can't play at peak level for an entire season in any sport. I wouldn't think. It's just hard to do. This is one that I will be tuned into on ESPN Plus, 2 o'clock. Penn at Harvard. Got to see. Is Amaker still the coach at Harvard?
He is.
Is he? Okay. See, if somebody would have asked me, I would have said yes, but I was not sure.
You know, the recent book about Coach K's reign came out a couple of years ago. In that book, it was reported that the Duke brass really wanted Amaker to replace Coach K, not necessarily Shire.
Yeah. Well, there were some other, I'll tell you this. Duke had a pretty good pool to choose from. They had pretty good.
Did.
I mean, one I always comes to my mind is Jeff Capel. The job he's done at Pitt.
Oh, he's finally getting the reward.
Yep. So, and there's, you got Wojciechowski. I don't even know where he's at
on TV
this day and time on TV. But they had a pretty good. But I'm saying
Johnny Dawkins.
No matter what the brass wanted, I think Krzyzewski's the one that eventually chose. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
With obviously the approval of the AD, but I just think that's the reason they went the direction that they did.
Right.
One thing I want to read here, there's a lot going on at Carolina, and a lot has nothing to do with basketball. So, but you're talking about with the team, though, right, Lenny? Or are you just talking about the school in general?
I think R.J. Davis and Caleb Love have had some off-the-court issues between them, and that's their 2 starting guards.
One not getting the ball enough? Is that?
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Really?
I think it's personal stuff.
Well, we know for a fact neither one of them is shooting the ball very well.
Have they got the same girlfriend?
I think you're on the right track, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that can get real heated.
Yeah, especially if you don't like to share. Bob Greasy won back-to-back Super Bowls in 7 and 8. Thank you, Jason.
Right.
In regards to UNC, Baycott stated in his post-game interviews that there are chemistry issues with the team. Hubert Davis agreed with him when asked about it. The rumors are on the internet about Love and Davis and not getting along, and it is over a woman, says Jason. So
imagine
about the team. That takes me back to the old commercial. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Yeah.
So you guys.
It was coach and player. Coach and player.
It was. Yeah.
Was that Jeff McGinnis?
Ford lately?
I will remain silent.
Anyway.
Well, he's not in Lincoln anymore.
I know. I think it was, but yeah. That supposedly that was the story back in the day.
Speaking of Combine, I've ran into them a couple times in recent weeks when they're playing Gaston College in various sports.
One off the subject just a minute. Lenny says, I don't want to miss any. Speaking of Chuck Halley, I saw he just got selected to the Hall of Fame this week and will be enshrined this summer. So, boy, that was a long wait, wasn't it, to get some. That means he went in, I guess, under the for lack of a better term, old-timers rule. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. Who else, Lenny, went in with Halley as an old-timer?
Got more notoriety, Gastineau, but this was the real player.
Oh, then you're talking about it should be easy for you. It's got to be Dennis Byrd. No? Joe Klecko. But all three of those guys were good on that. Now, Dennis Byrd, he went through some health issues late in his career. I think it actually ended his career. And I'm not talking about the local Dennis Byrd, that everybody knows around here. We're talking about Dennis Byrd from a whole different part of the nation.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't he paralyzed?
Yeah, it seemed like he was.
I think so.
But it wasn't football related, right?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I'm almost positive it was not football related. It was something. I don't know if it happened after his career or if it ended his career early.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And it seemed like it might have ended his career a little early.
Well, here's the list of quarterbacks with multiple Super Bowl wins.
Throw it out there.
Brady, Elway. Brady's 7. Bradshaw and Montana with 4 each. Troy Aikman 3. And then with 2, there's Elway, Staubach, Peyton Manning, Bob Greasy, Roethlisberger, Bart Starr, Jim Plunkett, and Eli Manning.
Right.
I'm not even sure we named Bart Starr a while ago.
Yeah,
we
did.
talked
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think
but-
we did.
Okay.
He won the first 2.
The last 3 were Starr, Plunkett, and
Eli Manning.
Eli. Eli gets over
And then,
a bit, and those were good Giants
Mahomes
teams.
has a
but he
chance to
won the
join that
games.
group
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Eli won those games, as much as their defense played a key role.
Yeah.
Eli had to make plays to
He
win those
did.
games, and he did.
He did.
He made them.
The play he made in the miracle catch.
Oh, he should have been sacked.
Should have been sacked.
Lenny says there was a list of about 10 or 12 when referring to the NFL Hall of Fame. Remember Klecko and Ken Riley. Ken Riley on it. I'm trying to remember Ken Riley. That must go way back. Do you remember Ken Riley?
I don't. So it must go to ancient history.
I'm not 100% sure that, I'll go with you on that. Here's one you might want to watch today since we know some issues going on at Carolina. They host Clemson today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, and I think I saw
pretty big game.
Carolina's like a 9-point favorite. I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, Clemson's starting to get into the meat of their schedule. They had a favorable schedule in the conference early and got out to that big lead. We'll see. Does anybody know Clemson's record at North Carolina all time?
1-59.
59.
I knew they finally won one. I don't remember what year.
Yeah.
But they did finally end the streak, 1-59.
Yeah, Carolina's got the Saturday, Monday thing this week. They're both at home, but it's Clemson and Miami.
Tough.
Yep, it is a tough stretch.
Yeah, Miami to me,
I give Miami the better chance of winning that over Carolina than
I
Clemson.
do
But let me
too.
ask you this: who does Miami play today?
they're at home against Louisville. So
Yeah,
they can,
that's
they can
a
cruise.
breather. Yeah,
Louisville's 3-21.
I don't like the Friday Monday, but at least they do kind of the same thing to everybody. The biggest difference here, and it has to happen to somebody, is one of you has to be on the road.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
know, I mean, one
Well, I
of you
saw a
has to be on the
stat
road.
the other night after Duke's loss, Texas and Kansas played, and it said Bill Self in his career on Monday, Big Monday,
Yeah, big Monday.
at home
Is
was
0
like
and-
36-0.
Oh, really?
At home on Monday.
Wow. After
Now
playing-
I don't know what his record is on the road on those Monday
that
games.
also means though the other team's also coming off a game.
Yeah,
And
Mm-hmm.
and they beat Texas on Monday. And that's
he said defensive back Cincinnati, Ken Riley. Now that I get that, I picture him.
Yeah.
I can actually picture him. Yeah, that makes it tough. I do. But now let me tell you this: and people that complain about it, when you get an NCAA tournament, I know you don't have to travel, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
You just play
Yeah.
a game.
1 day off.
Yeah, 1 day off,
1 day off.
as opposed to no days off for
Well, here's the
Belichick
other
and his
thing.
squad.
well, I don't think I don't like Duke or Carolina getting it after they play each other. I mean,
Yeah.
That is-
they're going to
That's
if you
a draining
play
game.
each other and then have to fly to Miami and play 2 days later, you're going to lose that game
It's
at
emotionally
Miami.
draining.
Those teams aren't good at Miami anyway.
No.
Right.
On the other hand, Brett, Miami played at Clemson Saturday.
Yeah.
They turned around and played Duke. But they were at home.
Yeah.
So,
Let's get some opinions right here while we're on college basketball because we're going to have to take another time out here in a minute. If you today had to pick one ACC team, which one would you pick to go the farthest in the NCAA tournament? You can only pick one to go. Which team would you pick to go the deepest in the NCAA?
the two that come to my mind are
tournament?
Miami and Virginia, and I'm going to go with Virginia.
And Miami made it to Elite Eight last year.
Mhm.
Is that right?
I believe so.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It seemed like they went along. Of course, Carolina and Duke were in the Final Four.
Final
Carolina was
Four.
in the championship
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, the ACC had a good run in the tournament last
I
year.
still think Carolina's the most talented team in personnel,
Yeah.
but that don't always equal wins. I mean, we're
Yeah, I
seeing
just-
that right now.
I
It
don't see
always
it.
equal wins.
I don't see it for Carolina this
No,
year
neither.
doing what they did last
Yeah.
year.
I don't know what it is, but
They better both dump that girlfriend.
It would take
Yeah.
Caleb Love doing something similar. I mean, he'd
He's
have to
gotta do
get
what he
hot and
did
carry
last
him
year.
like he did last
Well, that's
year.
why I thought the other night might be a big step for them because I know they were still lost, but he hit 3 threes there.
yeah, he did.
in
Well,
the-
they did
in-
come. I
in
mean,
the
they
final
they were
moments. I
down
actually
by.
watched some of that.
They were
game.
down by 25 or so, and got it down to 6 or 7.
I knew, Carolina's always notorious. They always make a run.
Yeah.
And that's why I left it. That's why I left it on there. I turned it on halftime, saw the score, and I sent a message to Brett and Mike. I said, "Have you seen this score?" Because it was
Yeah.
a 20-some point lead.
It was very similar
at
to
halftime.
Duke and Miami's
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, it was.
But but
I would go with Miami just because of how they can score.
I'm not sure you can get an
experience.
NCAA tournament too if you're Carolina and then flip the switch.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, first they got to worry about getting there.
Yeah,
And
they're on the bubble.
And I do think they'll get there, but I guess I think them and Duke both will get in. Benefit of the doubt, you know, even if they lose a couple more. I mean, it's like we hate to leave one of those programs
Blue
out
blood
because
outs.
they made the Final Four last year. They could make a run.
Well,
again.
you can lose a couple more, but
I'll tell you this:
you can't lose 5 more. I mean,
I wouldn't want to be the team facing Carolina in the first or second round. You know, in the first second.
Yeah, I mean,
round of the
Carolina's
NCAA
projected as like a 9-10 seed right now.
Yeah.
They only have a one.
That's not punishing.
And
Carolina.
they were an 8 last year.
That's not punishing them. That's punishing the 7.
No, but if you watch them, I mean, that's what they look like.
I know,
they look
yeah.
like a
I know.
9 or 10 seed.
They only have one quad 1 win last time I heard.
Yeah, and they said it wouldn't be quad 1 today, right? Because it was Ohio State. I heard that same stuff. They said it was Ohio State,
And they're folding.
yeah. That it and somebody, it might have been that Joe Lenardi or somebody said that no team's ever got in the tournament with just one of those type wins. Is that right? Is that what I heard?
right.
Or something similar to that. Jason sends me this Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Thank you, Jason. The current guys or most recent guys: Rondé Barber, Darrell Rivas, Joe Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Zach Thomas, and Rondé Barber. So 2 Barbers and 2 Thomases. Going into,
Did you name Rondé Barber twice?
I did.
Okay, I was going to say I don't.
That's what it is. It's because Tiki can't get in, can he?
I don't think so.
I don't know if he had a Hall of Fame career.
Rondé
did. I'm not sure Tiki.
He
Tiki
did.
was good and had some good seasons, but I don't know if it was Hall of Fame worthy. The older group is Chuck Halley, Ken Riley, along with one Lanny mentioned, Joe Klecko, and Don Coryell, who really restructured the passing attack he was
in modern football
with the
that's
Chargers back in the day. I think he did it maybe with the Cardinals as well. Did he not coach the Cardinals and Jim Hart, Neil Lomax, and then
Head coach of the Cardinals and Chargers for a combined 14 seasons.
I tell you what, you
coach of
always
the year
knew.
in '74 with the Cardinals.
You knew his teams were going to score points. You know, I mean, Jim Hart was a tremendous quarterback. Neil Lomax, the one that followed, wasn't bad, and Dan Fouts
with the
Fouts
Chargers,
was, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, you mentioned the Wake Forest Carolina game. I read that the guard for Wake, Applegate, now has an NIL with the restaurant Applebee's.
Yeah, well, Duke fans helped that.
Yeah.
Appleby.
He had a huge night against Duke, too.
Lenny says Miami lost to Kansas in the Elite Eight last year, so just one game shy of a Final Four for Miami last season.
Yeah,
Scott,
that was the team that won it.
Scott had to answer to the trivia question a while ago, and I'm back to that now. The longest 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the Super Bowl national anthem. He says Roseanne Barr.
Wrong.
Okay. Okay. It just felt like 20 minutes, Scott.
Yeah, I know. It felt like it wasn't, but it felt like it. Oh boy.
Scott says Virginia will go the deepest. He's guessing Virginia or picking. No, I shouldn't say guessing. He is. How do I want to word this? Educated guess here. Virginia will go deep into the playoff, into the deepest. The problem with North Carolina and Duke are all 4-star athletes. They are individuals, and they do not play as a team.
I'll buy that.
Well, in help me with the 2 guards again, Love and
Davis.
Or Jay Davis.
Yeah, theirs might be 4-star boyfriends. One's a 5-star, one's a 4-star, and that's causing
and the 4-star
problems.
is jealous.
With the
Well, Duke's problem to me is I don't think they lack team chemistry. I just think they're young and they don't play with the same intensity every game.
That's right. They get knocked back early.
Yeah.
We got to take our final timeout. We'll come back with the fourth quarter.
Nobody's come close on my trivia question.
Let me read this real quick. Well, 2 people have come close because they named one that did it.
Yeah.
But Whitney had to be second if she's not first. Lenny leaves us with this right here, talking about UNC basketball. Right now they don't look like an NCAA team. I'm going to use a Jim Moore quote and say, playoffs? There you go. Back in a minute.
Yeah.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. At Steeple Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call For Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Steeple Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Good coffee and donuts. Welcome back. Glad to have you with us this morning. Rodney Willis on the Super Bowl national anthem, the longest, says, ask Mike if it was Alicia Keys before the Blackout Bowl.
He would be correct.
And Alicia Keys, I don't even remember that one, to be honest with you. Who played that game?
Well, the Blackout
San
was
Francisco
49ers and Ravens.
Ravens, yeah. Thanks. Was about to type back to you. That's
Where what was that in New Orleans?
Oh, it's
where was it that the lights went out?
I don't remember. It might have been.
Seems like
it was indoors.
Yeah,
wouldn't have mattered, right? Well, it might have. If you're on the East Coast and it's 6 o'clock in the winter, it's dark. So, just reading a couple things here. Ned says that Howley wore number 54, Bob Lilly number 74. Back when Dallas had a nice looking font for their jerseys and numbers.
I don't remember that font, really.
More block, I think,
Blocky.
if I remember. Yeah,
Okay.
I liked it too. I don't like the way people jazz up their uniforms this day and time. I think I heard where Neil Diamond had the shortest version. That comes from Rodney.
Okay.
That's because he didn't add Sweet Caroline to it, which
That's
we
right.
found out last week was very popular song named after a female. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite song named after a dog? I don't even know one.
What's that song? Me and
You and a Dog Named
me
Boo.
and a dog named Boo.
Yeah, you got one there, Mike. Who was that? Who sang that? Me and You.
That
and
was
a
a
Dog
one-hit
named-
wonder, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was a hit.
Dog named Boo.
If you consider that a hit, they might have been a one-hit wonder. I'm looking here at the full
Lobo.
college basketball. Lobo, it was Lobo. You know what I started to say? It had something to do with New Mexico.
Yeah.
Cal State, not Cal State Fullerton. They're playing at Hawaii. They're having that game. I can promise you. East Carolina Tulane postponed.
Wow.
I don't know. That's just what it says on here at the very bottom. East Carolina at Tulane postponed.
Can't imagine why.
Well, I saw a
major
game.
snowstorm in New Orleans.
A game earlier this week was postponed because of COVID protocol.
Well, that could be it.
Could
and
be.
it was a Big Ten game, I think.
I don't
Seems
know.
like it had Minnesota and somebody. Minnesota, Illinois was postponed earlier this week due to COVID.
Nobody's going to notice.
No.
Except the alumni maybe of those schools. Actually, Illinois, aren't they having a pretty decent year? Or was that football?
Says they're 16-7.
16,
Yeah,
7.
pretty decent.
And Minnesota.
Yeah,
When's the
not
last
good.
time Minnesota was good in basketball?
Oh, yeah, they're bad this year.
Who's worse, them or the Timberwolves? The Gophers or the Timberwolves?
Speaking
Yeah.
of the Timberwolves, Brad, how about the NBA getting blown up this week? With
Yeah, there were some
Kyrie.
major trades.
That sort of took over the news cycle away from the Super Bowl a little bit.
The Kevin Durant one in particular. That was one I didn't really see coming. Kevin Durant to Phoenix, and Phoenix gave up a ton of pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Is he playing? Is he hurt? Is he
He has been hurt.
okay?
I don't know when he's expected back. I think the All-Star break is next weekend, so not before then, but hopefully soon after for his sake.
Right.
And then obviously also Kyrie Irving traded to Dallas, which that probably becomes the most exciting team to watch
Is
in
he
the
gonna
NBA.
be? Is he gonna be teamed with C.D. Lamb and
Yeah, he's their new quarterback.
oh boy, Kyrie. I hope he can't throw it to the end of the earth. Him and his flat earth.
But yeah, since he's been in Dallas, he's played 2 games. Luka has been out both games, and they've won both games.
Just a couple questions real quick while we're on that subject, okay? One, LeBron, we got to mention him breaking the all-time record a couple nights
Kareem
ago.
Abdul-Jabbar,
All-time scorer. But the next home game, he's in a suit.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's just scheduled rest.
They wanted him to do a speech, so he dressed up, and he said, well, if I do a speech, I'm not going to be able to play.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, it said he was out with ankle soreness or something, but
yeah. Well,
I think it's just scheduled rest.
Scheduled maintenance.
Yeah.
The
Basically.
one downer,
It is, yeah. It is.
The one downer was they lost the game.
Yeah, they did lose the night that he broke the record.
Okay. How many? He had to have over 30.
38, I think.
He needed 36, and he got 38.
38. Okay.
But they lost by 3.
So he tied it before he broke it. Or did 36?
I think 36 broke it.
So he
Yeah.
needed 35 to get even.
Did he score it against any one individual, or what kind of play was it? You always
It was like a little turnaround jumper right
Fadeaway
around the free
jumper
throw
from
line.
8 or 10 feet.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like 8 or 10 feet when they're playing. It's probably.
Yeah, it might be 15. It might have been 15, 16 feet. I don't know. Yeah, he had 30 in the game. He was 13 for 20. I mean, really good night on offense. Anthony Davis looked like he was not even interested in playing that night. I don't know. I thought they made some good moves. They did ship off Russell Westbrook and brought in, some role players.
So let the question begin. Did Kyrie and Durant have the same girlfriend?
I don't think they had problems between each other.
I don't think they did either.
I think Kyrie had
That's the first thing
problems
that
with the
come to mind.
organization, and because of that, Durant also had problems with the organization. So they both just wanted out.
And now the Nets are blown up.
Yeah, the Nets are going to be bad for a little while.
Yeah.
But they got a ton of draft picks from Phoenix.
Jason says LeBron scored 36 in 3 quarters and then only scored 2 in the 4th. Is that because maybe connecting that to that ankle issue? Didn't you say
Maybe
ankle?
so. I don't know.
Ankle soreness, whatever. You got to give it to a guy that's that big, that plays almost every game and runs up and down the court that much. I mean, eventually something, it's like a car with 300,000 miles. Something's going to happen.
He's played 20 years now with no major injuries.
Yeah.
I got asked this week again, who you pick and who's the greatest, LeBron or Jordan, and I said it's all a matter of opinion. You see an answer in that.
Completely subjective.
You asking, it's probably going to be 50-50 or or close to 50-50.
And if you go by titles, Jordan has 6.
My answer
LeBron
is
has 4.
Jordan was the best in the 90s. LeBron's the best in the 2000s.
That's a good answer.
You go on back, you got to throw Kareem in there. For being one of the best. He was unstoppable when he had the ball.
I think,
unstoppable.
Dan Patrick said it really well. Jordan was the best player. LeBron has had the best career.
Yeah, that may be true too.
Certainly longevity.
Then
I think
Kobe's the greatest. So
no, I'm not kicking either one off my team. That's for
No.
sure. But that's just
and I even think they could play well together.
Yeah,
because LeBron is not a score-first player, and he still has the all-time scoring record.
Ain't it funny how that's the one matchup that's discussed when it's who's the best of any other matchup? We don't say that much about is it Brady, is it Montana, is it Elway, and you could name a whole list. We don't. It gets mentioned occasionally, but this basketball thing is all the time.
Yeah,
baseball, we don't even mention it. It's not even mentioned. Do you ever get asked who's the greatest baseball player of all time? No, you don't. You don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why basketball has to. I guess they stand out more in basically a 5-man team.
Yeah.
I don't know why it stands out more, and it don't just stand out more because it's basketball season. I mean, the NBA does go about 8 months out of the year, but you could get asked that question in the middle of the off season while baseball or football is going on. I don't know why it's discussed the most, but it is. It is. If I asked you who's the greatest baseball player of all time, who are you going to throw out there? That's one that I'd say you'd get 10 different answers.
Babe Ruth. I mean, that's somebody I've never even seen.
You might get 10
somebody that none of us
different
have ever
answers
seen.
for baseball.
I don't know.
You might get 10
Barry
different
Bonds
answers
in my
for-
I'm
lifetime.
going for Barry Bonds is the best I've seen.
Barry Bonds was pretty doggone good.
And I saw Mantle and all the Koufax.
And I would throw like a Randy Johnson in there. I mean, he's as dominant a pitcher.
You better throw
as they've been.
Koufax in there before
Yeah, well,
Randy
I mean, I've never
Johnson.
seen Koufax, but like Roger Clemens was.
Yeah.
I hate to name all steroid guys, but
I know.
I don't care. It was legal.
but Barry Bonds could do everything.
They weren't doing anything wrong at the time. It was perfectly
Pete
legal
Rose?
to take steroids. Pete Rose was great.
Yeah.
Pete Rose was a great baseball player. One I grew up watching.
And one of my favorites.
Carl Yastrzemski, coming from a Red Sox guy. Carl Yastrzemski was
during my
Ted
time.
Williams.
Ken Griffey Jr. was one that I always thought was the best when I was growing up.
Back to college basketball, Lenny, he's on top of it. Back when the last time Minnesota had a good basketball team was when Clem Haskins took them to the Final Four in the mid-'90s.
Wow.
I can't even remember that happening.
I can't either.
Yep.
Wow.
Let's see. I think I heard where Neil Diamond had the shortest version. That's from Rodney. George Clinton's Atomic Dog, or Blake Shelton's Old Red. He's naming the songs, his favorite song with dogs in them. Hank Aaron, no doubt, is Rodney's all-time favorite. He says here, Hank Aaron is his. Yeah, we didn't even mention Aaron, and Aaron definitely
that's crazy.
Scott Cloninger says Pete Rose. But yeah, there's a lot of names you can mention there in baseball. So you see how
I thought it was Roy Hobbs.
You see,
now, I mean, come on.
You see how the debate would go in baseball.
Yeah.
But in the NBA, you're going to get 2 names out of 85 to 90% of the
not that
people.
many names, that you're going to get.
Football, how many names you going to get? 6 or 8? Some would say Brady. Brady falls into the LeBron category.
Yeah.
Decorated. All-time leading this, and this, and this. But Brady's not the best quarterback ever lived that played in the NFL.
Really?
Not in my opinion. I'm just giving you mine. I mean, if I'm starting a team and I'm probably gonna pick Elway or Montana.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning.
I loved Montana. He was, until Brady won all these championships, I always said Montana was the best.
Mm-hmm.
He was clutch.
Well, you must
Brady
be
was
saying
too,
then
but
that with Brady it was the system, Belichick, the Patriots.
Not totally, but if I'm going with all-time quarterback, it's going to have to be somebody that's known for airing it out. And Elway and Montana threw that ball down the field, and Brady's dinking dunk all day long.
Well, here lately, but early on.
He didn't throw it downfield much. Belichick wouldn't let him.
No, the only time he really did was when Moss was with him.
Yeah,
there. Okay.
Belichick held him back like Dean did Michael.
Okay.
I mean.
Yeah, I'll buy that, I guess.
I just think, I mean, Elway is like the prototype. You stick one out there, and that's what you want it to look like. You know what I mean? I mean, that's
gunslinger.
Yeah, I don't know how else to
Strong
describe
arm.
Man,
it.
he could run over you. He was an athlete.
Listen
to this.
Well, how about Mahomes?
In my opinion, Mahomes is still playing. He's got a long way to go. Yeah. You don't put anybody in the category that's still playing. You can't.
Okay.
But
he is generational.
If Elway would have had a Belichick defense, he would have a whole lot more Super Bowl rings too.
Mm-hmm. Quite possibly.
Yeah, he would have a whole lot more Super Bowl
Probably
rings
at least
too.
4, right?
The poor old Elways and Marinos and some of those guys, Marino only made it one time. They were going to have to score 50 points to have a chance of winning the Super Bowl because the defense was going to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest
Great.
throwers.
He's
I mean, he can put the ball
most
in
accurate
spots
thrower in history.
Not many other guys could.
But he's not going to get in the category because he'd have to win one more.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to happen.
He's not going to win in Green Bay, I bet you.
He's not going to be in Green Bay.
He's
going to be in the silver and black. Tell him, Rodney.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be reunited with his old
I would like to
receiver
see
in the
that, but
silver
I
and
still
black.
don't think they're good enough to win the Super Bowl.
On Thursday, the West Lincoln girls won 63-40 over Lincoln in high school basketball. On the same night, the West Lincoln boys pulled out a 2-point victory, 44-42.
Does anybody know the last time West Lincoln swept Lincoln in a basketball doubleheader?
So you're talking about boys, girls. You're not talking about in a season series.
No, I'm talking about one night, girls and boys.
No, go ahead and give us the answer.
I don't know. That's why I'm throwing it out there.
I knew you did.
Well, they did it both times this year, right?
Yeah,
No.
about a month ago.
Well, no, I thought West Lincoln's boys beat Lincoln in the People's Bank tournament.
No, you got it backwards.
Lincoln won the.
No, Lincoln won the tournament game.
Lincoln won the tournament game.
Lincoln
and now
West Lincoln won both regular season games.
Gotcha.
The 3 games this year decided by
3 or 4 points.
7.
7. Wow.
Total. Yeah, it had to be at least 3, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the other night was 2, so you should have picked up on that.
Yep.
And I guessed at least 4. Rogers to the Raiders, please no. Rodney, I think you're making a huge mistake. Aaron Rodgers is still a winner. The game before says, Lenny got your trivia question right. The game before.
The game before.
Because the West girls and boys both won on that particular night
they swept
as well.
them
About a
in the
month
regular
ago.
season.
About a month ago up at West Lincoln. Sure did. Maybe 5-6 weeks ago.
Well, the girls, they've 14, 15 wins, having a pretty good year.
Again, Rodney commenting on his Raiders, regardless of the quarterback, our defense over the last 10 years has been terrible. I tell you what, a good offense will help make a defense better.
Yep.
A good offense that's scoring points will help make a defense better. One that stays on the field a little while and gives your defense a break, because the Raiders have some good pieces on that defense. You know, it's not like everybody on that team is just terrible. The Raiders of the 70s and 80s have to hate that. I guess he's talking about how bad their defense has been. We get this one from Richard, a Carolina fan. And I've already told somebody, all Carolina fans are going to pick Jordan. Show me a Carolina fan that's not going to pick Jordan in this debate. And he says his favorites is MJ and is the best football player. He likes Jerry Rice, and he goes away from the quarterback. And I was just mainly throwing quarterbacks in for us to choose. But he's very good on these. He picked one defense, Lawrence Taylor, one offense, Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
His favorite player was Tony Dorsett and Pete Rose, and my best in those particular categories.
Yeah, my guy Lawrence Taylor.
And Lenny, you guys should be proud. West Lincoln girls are 14-9.
Good
Finished conference 8-6, I think it was. Am I right, Lenny?
Nice
8-6
job.
in conference, a winning record in conference play as well. When nobody is beating Newton and East Burke.
No.
You know that's pretty much 4 losses for everybody in the conference.
That's right.
Nobody's beating them, and they went 8-6
Nice
in
job.
conference play. So it is. It is a good job for the West Lincoln girls program. I want to mention real quick, don't forget Wrestling Regional gets underway this morning. It started last night at West Lincoln, the West Regional. This is individuals. Had somebody ask me, said, how come they can have regionals and the state tournament was last Saturday? I said, well, you got team last week, you got individual starting today and going into next Saturday. Top 4 in each weight class at West Lincoln today. The top 4 will advance to Greensboro next week when there's 4 from the east and 4 from the west that will go for the individual state championship. So that's how it gets underway this morning at 10. Probably will last till 5 or 6 o'clock, I'd say, in the afternoon. Today. East Lincoln gets a little revenge on North Lincoln. The boys beat North last night 75-68. Tell us a little bit about that one, Mike. You were there to see it.
Oh, yeah. I have to say this. That's one of the most intense atmospheres I've seen in a high school basketball game.
No love lost between the two schools.
Both on each side of the bleachers, just really vocal student sections from both schools. It really was an intense atmosphere. East Lincoln got a kind of a measure of revenge. They lost to North when the teams played down at East Lincoln. East really had a torrid first quarter. He had 28 points in the first, and they really controlled the game most of the way. They were up 41-31 at the half, 60-48 through 3 quarters. But the Knights made a very valiant comeback. Got some good play from Kellen Carr. He had 9 points in the fourth quarter. Connor Carson had 5. Got it within 3 a couple times. Just couldn't quite get over the hump. But it turned out to be a really tight game at the end. Keandre Walker, a big fourth quarter for the Mustangs, hit some free throws, just his overall play. He finished with 21 to lead East. Ben Simmons had 19. Fannin, what's his first name? Jackson Fannin had 16. For North Lincoln, 4 players in double figures. Carson, 16. Kellen Carr, 15, who we know is also a pitcher, but he's a really good basketball player as well. Carter Black had 14, and Kellen Carr had 13, and Ty Sanders had 15.
So that conference finished. Hickory's a champion. Second place tie, which will be decided this morning, a coin flip this
between
morning
East and North
at their meeting for the number 2 seed.
Both teams are 10-4. Is that correct?
And then I'm guessing that the way you'll get seeded for the playoffs will be who finishes higher in the tournament. Yeah, because they'll play each other in the second round, and they'll decide that whichever one of them will get the higher seed, the number 2 seed, going into the playoffs. North Iredale beat West Iredale 73-42 last night. Let's see, Mallard Creek. Chambers beats Mallard Creek 67-66. I know Maiden was a winner last night over Newton. I'm trying to find that one. Hendersonville beat Patton 65-61. Very close game there. Cherryville rolls over Thomas Jefferson on the road 90-70 last night for the Ironmen. RS Central 77, Chase 65. West Davidson beats East Davidson 58-47. Forest Hills 62, Monroe 48. I don't know a whole lot about those teams this year. I don't think they're quite as good as they have been in the past, though. Crest 58, Kings Mountain 50, Huff 51, Hopewell 50. Very close game between those two.
David, I think
South Point rolls over North Gaston 82-44.
I think with Crest beating Kings Mountain, if South Point won, then they're going to win that.
Well, they won.
Conference. Okay.
82-44 over North Gaston.
I don't know that they've ever won a conference title in boys basketball.
That's a good question. Have to go back to Majim McCauley, maybe, when they were a force.
I think that's a first.
Yep. North Davidson beat Ledford 61-59. Reedsville 84. Moorhead 67. Sounds like a football game here, except for the points. East Duplin beats Clinton 64-61. I'm trying to find our area scores. Like I said, I know Maiden beat Newton Conover, but I have yet to find the score on here last night. Maiden will go in as the 2 seed into the conference tournament, the CVAC conference tournament that gets underway on Monday as well. North Mac beat West Charlotte 61-55, but don't forget that's a 4A beating a 3A, a good 4A ranked number 7, beating a 3A by just 6 points. So West Charlotte, again, is going to be a force to reckon with in 3A. Hickory beat Statesville 76-63.
I got that Maiden score.
Yeah, throw it out here.
Maiden 70, Newton Conover 54.
70-54, Maiden. I think they already had clinched the number 2 anyway, but they are going to be the number 2. You can. Chances are you'll see West Caldwell Maiden a third time.
In the final.
Yeah, in the final. I mean, upset could happen. Don't get me wrong. West Lincoln nearly shocked West Caldwell on Tuesday night, losing by just 2. In a game Jordan Truesdale had 44 points. West Forsyth beat East Forsyth. I'm sure that gym was packed 61-60. Watauga over Ash 65-60. There's the Maiden game I was looking for that Mike just gave you. Maiden a 16-point winner. Bunker Hill beat Bandy's 59-54. Mount Airy, another team you have to keep an eye on. They beat Allegheny 52-41. I say that every week, and then I remember that we were told they were down a little bit. East Wilkes beat Starmount 48-47. Alexander Central falls to Freedom 62-46. Surrey Central 56, East Surrey 44. West Caldwell over East Burke 90-63 last night. Wilkes Central beats Forbush 72-58. I'm sure that gym was packed as well. That's a rivalry game. Inca 70, Asheville 47. The Inca team gave Hickory their only loss on this season, so that's another team to watch out for. Any final thoughts? Super Bowl picks?
Well, congratulations to the East Lincoln girls.
Yes, the East Lincoln girls win last night 63-13, 50-point win in their final game. And they are going into the conference tournament with an undefeated record. The only area team I know of that's 24-0.
Now, were they undefeated in the regular season last year?
No, they had one loss.
Had one loss.
One loss last year and lost their second in the playoffs. I'll lead things off. I'm going Eagles 27, Chiefs 24.
I'm going Eagles 24-17.
Well, I'll go Chiefs.
Wow, going another way. That's good. We need somebody to go there.
Yeah.
Chiefs 24-20.
24-20.
That would win me some money.
Real quick before we go off, Lenny says, speaking of five-tool players in baseball and being the best, the name I hear is Willie Mays. I do remember him playing, but when I remember seeing him play, he was past his prime. Yep, Giants and Mets. Long time for Willie Mays. He was a great one. For Brett, Mike, I'm David. See you next week on Sports Talk.